Sawadika. April the 9th. And here we are again, together. You and I. Blah, 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 blah. Don't want to get you too excited. Get your mind focused on the material. I know I'm a sexy beast, but that will have to wait for later. What do you want from life? Good question. Now we're getting deep. Now we're diving down. What do you want from life, and what have you to give in return that entitles you to it? Wow. It's going to be a good one. I hate the government. I worked for them for 30 years. That's probably why I hate them. But my biggest problem with the government, I posted a thing on Facebook about 10 minutes ago from a friend, a buddy of mine's a libertarian, and they hate the government too. That's why we see a lot in common. And when I criticize the government, the liberals and their crazy shit they're doing, all the liberals, have a stake in it because they voted for Biden-Harris. So they jump on me. Oh, Trump, MAGA, Trump, MAGA, Trump. Fuck you. I didn't vote for Trump in 2016 or in 2020 because I didn't vote, right? If I were to vote and I had to pick a party, which thank God I don't have to, that's what being American's about. You don't have to go into their black-white funnel. You can realize that most of life is gray. And it doesn't have to be left or right. There's a moderate, there's a middle, and they're too far. We're getting too far away from it on both sides. When the conservatives are in power, they're too far extreme right for my taste, and when the liberals are in power, they're too far extreme left. Why is everybody got to be 180 degrees one way or the other? What's wrong with 12 o'clock? Why does it have to be 3 or 9? Anyway, I posted a meme on Facebook saying, gun control is about taking away and limiting. It's not about our rights to protect ourselves. And that's true. And then, there's a story that gets put out all over the news, and the news chooses what news to show you, which is a problem also, right? Because you want all the news, and you want to have it without spin, and you want to interpret it yourself, right? That's the way news used to work, and that's the way it should work. It doesn't work that way anymore. Everybody's more interested in, like I said, it goes too far to the right, too far to the left. And one of those cases in point is if you watch, Fox News, although they've changed a little bit, they're still basically conservative right, and that's all they want to feed you. That's all they want to tell you. That's the view they want to give you of the news. CNN has gone from being, the source for what's going on in the world and political and all that to, well, we hate Trump. Like a lot of people hate Trump. He was a very polarizing figure. Therefore, everything spin has to be left. So that's not news, that's spin. And I think you all are bright enough to realize that. So with the gun control, the news chooses to use when some crazy motherfucker goes off with a gun and shoots people, which they got illegally. Let's clamp down on the legal ways to get a gun. And then meanwhile, the government in the Capitol, because they're scared, right? If you're scared, just say you're scared. If you're a big pussy politician and you've done some shit that's evil and it's going to catch up with you, and or you're afraid there's going to be riots in the street because you suck at governing, they put up fences. Remember the wall? Put down the wall, take down the wall, don't finance the wall. So they put up a wall, right? It's a giant fence wall. And they put military there, the National Guard. They're using the military for their own protection, like bodyguards, using, oh, by the way, our tax money to pay these guys to stand there to protect them. So guns are bad, walls are bad, except when it protects them. Are you starting to get it? Are you starting to see can you smell what the Rock is cooking? So that's why I hate government. They're fucking hypocrites. They're pussies. They make a bunch of laws that they want to apply to you, but don't apply to them. Who the fuck are they? Like we were talking about with the guy who they're giving you advice and they're not doing it themselves. They're criticizing you and the way you live, but they're not living better. They have two sets of rules, one for us and one for themselves. That's bullshit. That's why I hate the government. All governments, really, because I don't know one that's selfish and selfless and does what they're supposed to do, which is serve the people. Every government I know around the world that I've seen serves themselves and not the people that they're supposed to serve, and that includes America. unfortunately. So what do you want from life? This is a good question. I'm kind of get off my soapbox about politics. I'm kind of excited about this. And what do you have to give in return that entitles you to it? So that second part is my biggest problem with the left. No, I'm not MAGA, I'm not Trump. Stop it. Just stop the knee jerk reaction that you've been taught to spit out and listen to what I'm saying. Nobody is entitled to a good life. You have to earn a good life. And I know that's shocking, and I know that makes you want to climb into your little safe space, but nobody is entitled to a good life. What have you to give in return that entitles you to the good life? Right? That's what it's all about. And to me, there's a group of people who go to work every day and give their blood, sweat, and tears, their heart and soul. Um, they work for it. And there's others who are like, just let the government give it to me. I'm definitely not with the people who say, let the government give it to me. And not because they're liberals, not because they're left, not because they're communists, not because they're socialists. Just I'm not wired that way. I prefer to earn my keep. I always have and I always will till I die. Now, what excites the young people is people like me. I'm old and white and I want to work for a living. We'll die eventually. I'm 57 years old. I'm not going to be here another 40 years, most likely. They're excited about that, the young people. They can't wait till my generation goes away and more people think like them. What's in it for me? Give me. Give me technology. Mommy, buy me a phone. I need the new iPhone. And the new iPhone came out. All the other kids have it. I need it. Mommy, daddy, buy me. Mommy and daddy had to work for that. I don't care. Just give me. I want. Like a child, like a baby. And some of those babies are 30 years old now. And they still want just because. So if mommy and daddy won't give it to them, the government will. Right? So we got 7 minutes. All right, 7-Eleven, which are very popular, corporate empire, greed, right? Because that's the other side. So I've bashed the left for being pussies and wanting shit they didn't earn. How about 7-Eleven that needs to be on every street corner of every block in Thailand? Because it's never enough, Making, $60 billion a year is not enough. They need to make 100 billion. What the fuck? How much is enough? How much do you give back to the communities that you're in? When you put mom and pop shops out of business, what do you do for the people that you've displaced and put out of business? Oh, absolutely fucking nothing. Sell them beer so they can get drunk and get depressed and kill themselves, which happens a lot in Thailand. You're a piece of shit. You're as bad, if not worse, than the lazy fuckers the babies, the crybabies who sit and cry about not getting shit handed to them. I want free healthcare. I want free education. I want. 7-Eleven. I want more money. I want more locations. Why? You've got more money than you can ever possibly need. Why do you need it? It's disgusting. It's gross. It's pathetic, just like the extreme left. You see? Extreme right, extreme left, extreme greed, extreme need, and not lack of self-reliance. They're both fucking pathetic, Jump into the middle with me. You want to make your own money. You don't want anybody to hand you your money, but you don't want to get to the point where all your focus is on money and not people. What we talked about the other day, relationships, right? Be a builder. And how much is enough? Every responsible earner, not a taker, but an earner, a builder, every responsible builder needs to stop and say, when have I built enough for myself? You can keep building, but at some point you want to start building for other people and help people who genuinely need it. My biggest problem with the left is there's a bunch of people taking because it's easier, not because they need it. They want it, not they don't need it. So your responsibility as a builder is build enough for yourself, get systems in place so you have perpetuity, you have income coming in, and you can ease off on the building because you built a business, you built a system. Now the thing is, okay, I got this money coming in, I don't need it to live. Am I going to put it in the bank and sit and look at my bank book every day and say, oh, look how much money I have? Or are you going to help people who literally need the help? The Thai couple that went out of business because 7-Eleven put a store up, right next to their little bodega type deal, right? They need help. Help them. You're a builder. They're not necessarily builders. Thai people think differently than Westerners, Farang. We're different here. We'll always be different in the way we talk, dress, think, eat, build businesses. We're different. That's okay. That's why I came here, because we're different. And helping people like that. There's a problem with this group called the Karen tribe, and yeah, go ahead and laugh, because Karen is the symbol now of the people who went crazy during the pandemic and were trying to tell people how to live and shit. Karen became a nickname for that overbearing, usually white, middle-aged lady, overweight. Most of them, they have that hairdo, whatever, their sense of entitlement, suburban, whatever. Look it up. Karen's a thing. It became a thing last year, but there's tribes here called Karen in Thailand, Karen, and they're like indigenous tribes in the mountains, hill tribes, and they're hurting. The pandemic fucked them up. There's no tourists, so the same way that TTK got, blown under, and I was watching a video the other day in August of 2019 when I was researching Thailand to see if it was a place I wanted to travel to and maybe live instead of Italy, which was my original plan to retire. I found a guy named Simon Loss from Great Britain. He was a taxi driver in Great Britain. He retired to Thailand in 2000 and became a bar manager in Pattaya. And for 2 years, he managed a go-go bar. So he made videos on that whole scene. And of course, I was learning when I'm a sponge. Like I said, when I was a kid, I'd go to the library, take out books on whatever I wanted to learn. And, excuse me, coffee. Now I go to the internet, like most of you, Google it or YouTube it. And that's what I did. I searched on YouTube for Thailand. I found Land of Smiles, which is a YouTube channel Simon has. And watched just about everything he had put out, about living in Thailand, marrying a Thai girl, find a Thai girl, visas, and just whatever. He had a good channel with a lot of information. It was really doing well. He took some of the money from the channel and said, let's invest, like Farang do. Let's invest for the future. And he built a little resort, a place for his subscribers and others to come stay. He lived in Cha Am, just north of Hua Hin, or Hua Hin, Huahin. That's a big destination for expats, and he lived just north of there in a little village where I guess his Thai wife, had owned some land. So long story short, I absorbed everything, and I was like, what a great guy. Thank you, Simon. You helped me make my decision to come here and live here, and I learned a lot. I studied his YouTube videos, right, his channel, and others. But that was one of the main ones. I watched pretty much everything he put out. I just saw it the other day. I'm like, oh, what's Simon up to? Now I'm in country, maybe I'll look him up, have a beer with him, whatever. He seemed like a nice guy, a British guy in his 50s. And he's going back. He went back in February to Great Britain. They put all this money into this resort, built a pool, built a wall around the place, put up rooms, brand new electric, new fixtures, new beds, new everything. He laid out a bunch of cash. He invested in Thailand, which in 2019 was not a bad idea. They had over 40 million visitors in 2019. So the future was bright and sunny, and he figured out a way to monetize YouTube other than the commercials, by using his channel to get people to come and stay. And yeah, it was an awesome idea. There's nobody knew COVID was coming, except maybe allegedly the people who created it in a lab. But just, whatever, most of the world did not know COVID was coming. So of course it killed his business. He hung in for a year, just like I did, waiting for it to get better. Listening to the Thai government say, oh, we're going to open the country, this date, we're going to open the country that day. And of course they never did. And eventually what little business he had in the guest house went away, the resort, he called it the same thing. And he had to go back to England to work. First his wife went in January because she's a dual citizen, UK and Thai. And then he eventually went back and found a job pretty quickly in England. So it was sad, like this was the guy I watched. I mean, and because of the governments around the world, British, German, American, Thai, whatever, it's same. The governments have totally mishandled this thing. Their fear is running them and not smart decision making. I kept saying 70 people because that was the number last year, and my liberal friend Jeffrey reminded me gleefully that it's 95 now in Thailand. Okay, so instead of 70 people, 95 people now have died from COVID in Thailand. 70 million people in population, 95 have died. Oh dear, horror, shock. Have I mentioned 26,000 a year die in motorcycle accidents? What has the government done to control that? Shakedowns, where they have the police stopping people and checking paperwork so they can get money, that hasn't stopped it. Even with the checkpoint. I'm sorry, I said shakedown. No, shakedown. No, checkpoint, safety checkpoints. So they've done the safety checkpoints to stop, and unfortunately, it hasn't stopped. There's still 20,000 plus motorcycle deaths here in Thailand a year. 26,000. 95. Let's lock down the massage parlors, lock down the restaurants, lock down the bars, right? It's important that we're only safe in certain businesses, and those businesses just happen to be small businesses. Let's lock down 7-Eleven. Oh no. No, silly boy. You do not lock down Big C, right, where a bunch of people get together and shop. You do not lock down Macro, right, owned by CP Corporation. You do not lock down Yum Foods from China. China would not be happy if you locked down Yum Foods from China. So all the KFCs are open. So TTK, we had restrictions. We were supposed to be closed for a while. We never fucking closed. It's Thailand. But a lot of people did close. And they listened to the government. They're afraid of them. And then when we opened up, we could only have 25% capacity. We had to check people's temperatures. They had to check in. KFC is still open. They were open the whole time. They're Yum Foods. Yum Foods is still open. And Chinese-owned Yum Foods. It's not KFC. It's Yum Foods. It's a corporation. It's a corporate giant. We will crush your nuts with our fingers, It's their greed. Greed, baby. Money, big money. Big money's okay during the pandemic. Little money, not so much. You see what's going on there? So yeah, once again, why do I hate government? There's a great example. What they've done to you, to me, to everybody over the last year. It's fucking ridiculous. So 17 minutes in, and I haven't talked about the sense of entitlement. I will. I'll do a separate video. Today will be why I hate the government. 17-minute rant. And then really I got to go do the bikes today. Again, back again to the inspection thing. I went to the DMV for the truck yesterday. I made progress. I paid the taxes, the back taxes on the truck. Obviously when it sat there for a year, the bank SCB is not going to pay the tax. We're rich. We're SCB. We're the bank. The banks, the governments don't pay. You pay. I pay. The banks and the governments don't pay. That's the way they got it. That's the way they like it. So I had to pay 2 years of tax. I got the registration sticker. I got to go back on the 19th of April, which is 10 days from now, and get it inspected, the truck inspected. Why they couldn't inspect it yesterday? I had it there. I don't know. More money. It's the government. Give me more money. You're dealing with me. You need to pay me money. Lots of money, as much money as I can get from you. When you're broke and dead, next, bring them in. It's a conveyor belt, the wall, right? Pink Floyd, where the people just walking into that's us. Anyway, that's my view on government. If I had to pick a party, it'd be libertarian, because I'm not the black and white, left and right guy. I'm in the middle. And even the Libertarian Party doesn't have everything I believe, but it's closer to my beliefs than the other two parties. I'm not a two-party guy. Never have been, never will be.